What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and we have Goldshell's latest profitable miner, the XTBOX. This is for the SHA-3X algorithm for Tari or XTM. So the ASICs have emerged. This is batch 2, which is supposed to be obviously bigger than batch 1, which only had about 100 miners or so. People are speculating 200 to 300 miners in batch 2. We don't really know until we watch the hash rate. The hash rate hasn't really been climbing yet, but the price has been going down. That's kind of when we look at some numbers here of what it's looking like right now. We're seeing the profitability start to drop a bit because of the crypto crash that's going on. When it comes to actual network hash rate, it still doesn't look like too many of these have actually sold yet. Also, Goldshell is releasing the Byte version, which is the little card that goes in the little machine, which we saw previously for, I believe it was a Leo as well as Litecoin, Dogecoin, script algorithm there. So that's going to be coming in the next couple days, possibly in a week. So if you're looking for any of these miners, obviously links will be down in the description. Now let's take a look at this. We're going to hook this thing up. We're going to see what pools actually this thing uses. Can it use all the pools or only some of the pools? The X pool with kind of dropping its pool fees now. We'll look at that. It was 5%, and I was saying, hey, you know what? They're trying to capitalize on this and ripping everyone off. It looks like they're dropping the 2% fees now. So we're going to try all the pools and see if they work. We're going to hook this up, look at current profitability, and see what things are looking like for the XTBOX on Tari. Just like any Goldshell miner, it's their typical box miner. Now they're using generation 2 of this, so when the Doge, Mini Doge 3 and stuff came out like that, Doge, Mini Doge 2, it has that version. It's not coming out with the Mini Doge 3 Plus version, which has its integrated power supply. That was the best box version, I think, because you don't need any third-party equipment. With these, you are going to need a server power supply. You can get theirs, but it's quite a bit more expensive to get their power supply. So I wish they'd integrate everything with the power supply in it so that they could just, you plug in your C13 plug and then plug it into your wall or your PDU or whatever, and you're good to go. So having server power supplies to, add these things in here, I really think is an old design and it kind of sucks. So I wish everything would stay with that new design Goldshell had with the Doge 3 Pluses there. All right, so I got this plugged into 120 volt here. It's only supposed to be around 400 watts. Plus whatever our power supply is, so we'll have to calculate for that. I can't remember how much this one uses, 15 to 18, 20 watts. We can check that out after, but for the most part, you're going to have to count that power anyway because that's part of this whole system. So that's what we're going to be utilizing. So you plug in your power cables right there, plug in your Ethernet. It does have Wi-Fi, but I never use Wi-Fi or anything, especially if you're solo mining. You want the best connection possible. And then again, 120 volt power, we're going to be using that here. So we're going to run into here, set this up, and I'm going to go through each pool, and we're going to see which pools all work. As for the wallet I'm using, I'm just using the phone mobile app. I find this is the easiest and best wallet to use for Tari, not all that universe garbage and stuff they got going on. Especially for these miners, you can't use the universe. So I'm using the mobile wallet, and it works flawlessly for me like I did in the past. All right, so I'm starting off with Lucky Pool. As we do know, DX Pool is going to work. So if I come into my XTBOX, and if we actually just go into the miner, I should have just known by default. Lucky Pool's in by default. DX Pool, we know it's going to work because they're partnered with Goldshell, so that's always Goldshell's test pool. Lucky Pool, because it's here, we should just expected it to work, so I do know, I tried it anyway just to make sure, and we can see we have the green thing here coming up to the pool. We can see my workers here, Rabid. It says GS Miner. Everything is working to Lucky Pool. So now I'm going to move on to Cryptex, support XTM, and I don't know. Do you guys want me to try H9? It's a China pool, but I guess we'll just try them all just to see. So now if Cryptex pool does work, that's probably the pool I'll end up staying on, but we'll see what happens once I get onto it. So let's try pool Cryptex next. So I'm going to go through them all and I'll just give you the feedback of what it looks like. So as we know, Lucky Pool does work. If we come into Cryptex was working here. We got valid shares, non-invalid, non-stale. It's showing hash rate. That's good. Then I swapped over into support XMR GUI. This is, where is it bringing it up here? This is supportxtm.com here. And we are seeing shares here as well. One worker, everything's detected. So it looks like it is working on all the pools. I did not try the China pool because you got to make an account and all that stuff. And I didn't want to go through that with that. So for the most part, all these pools do work. So myself personally, I'm going to be utilizing Cryptex. And if you make an account there, it also looks like you can auto convert your mined coins into Bitcoin or USDT and things like that. So you can automatically do that while mining to Cryptex. So that's another major thing there. So I will have a link down to Cryptex if you want to use that pool as well. But I think that's where I'm going to go when it comes for this miner is Cryptex. All right, guys. So it has been running for, I don't know, like 6 hours or something. So we're going to take a look at the power. Remember, this is with the server power supply on 120 volts. So I'm just going to come into here and I guess I'm going to hit a button so we can kind of see, oh, this one doesn't work. So here you can see about 445 watts is what this miner is using. So it's supposed to be 400 watts. Add the server power supply plus, heat and stuff like that. It is using over that 400 watts, but the profitability is decent for now. And that's something we're actually going to take a look at now because the profitability is dropping, but it's not because of people buying the miners. All right, guys, so now let's take a look at the current profitability. And as we know, a lot of people are pushing, do not buy these miners. And I agree with them. We all know what happens with new ASICs on chains. People buy them, and then the profitability drops. Here we can see the profitability was $40 to $60. We're already down to $21.47 a day. But what if I told you this has nothing to do with miners and hash rate spiking? Because it's not looking that many miners are on there. So it makes sense. If everyone tells nobody to buy these miners, that means they remain profitable for everybody who got them and who has bought them in the first batches. So it kind of goes both ways. But as we know, usually with these ASICs, everybody buys them, but people have not been buying ASICs recently because of the very reason what happened with Lithium due to the Kaspa pump. Lithium never did see any profits really, and it just sucked and a lot of people lost a lot of money, and ASICs are too expensive. I agree. This is, for what it has, is too expensive of a miner for what it's giving. It's a little box miner. It should be worth maybe $500-$600, not $1,800. But that's what it is, and this is what we're stuck with. But we can see the profits are down to $21.47 a day. Now let's come into the current network difficulties and hash rates and everything. Right here, we can see we're sitting at about 137 terahash, where last week before the second batch was released, when we were live streaming, I did some numbers here. We were estimating how many were going to come. We were sitting at about 87 terahash on the network. And now we're at about, I guess we're up to 100. We're above where I was now. I thought 116. I went with 116 here, but now we're at 137. So I messed up the numbers. So I'm going to do some new numbers here. So I'm going to go 137 terahash. Subtract the 80 something here. So where were we? 87 terahash there. So I'm going to go 137 minus 87 terahash. So that's about 50 terahash came online, which is about 50,000 gigahash, right? So we're going to go 50,000 gigahash. I'm going to divide that by 580, which is these. So that's about 86 miners came online. Not very many. We haven't even doubled the network hash rate. So why has our profits dropped so much? And that's because the price has been dipping. And we can see we dropped like pretty much almost, not quite 50%, but we dropped probably 35-40% in price. And that's where our profits have dropped. About 35 to 40% profits have dropped here. So that's pretty crazy here that it has nothing to do with the network hash rate. The people mining these, the yields are still good. So if we see any price in Tari, it is going up. But yes, everything is dropping in profitability, but it's not because the hash rate has been spiking. There's a big push to not buy these, and it's a waste of money and things like that. So keep that in the back of your mind, though. Pay attention to all the network conditions, and people that have this miner, they're not having any issues with increased hash rates. And remember, this is really sticky here. If you look at this and look at this, you'd think it's gone like 3x, but really we're only at like 75, 70 something to 111. So mining pool stats charts and graphs, they're way out to lunch. Take this for example. Here's 15.7 terahash. It looks like a lot of hash rate here. Down to nothing. We're down to 3. Actually, that is a pretty big jump, but usually, it's not really, doesn't seem like that much. There's 1, 2, 3. So here we can see a doubled network hash rate, but it looks like it's a huge jump here. Just, you got to be very careful. Look at all the numbers individually. Sometimes it is accurate, I guess, but most of the time, these big fluctuations aren't as big as they actually seem. They're very small compared to what they actually seem. But yeah, right now we're only seeing about 86 more miners online. That's less than the first batch. And the first batch wasn't very many, and the profitability continued to climb because the price continued to climb. So we still have that going on. So far, it's looking like not that many miners are out in the wild, or people aren't actually buying these miners, which is good for the people who have been buying the miners. So does that kind of make sense to you guys? Cryptex, there's two ways to mine it. One is simply using your normal wallet address, which I used mine. I think this is the way I'm going to go with for now, just so I can track things within my wallet. But I also tried making the account base. Now for the account base, I did already record a how-to video for this, so it's going to release, maybe a couple hours after this video. That way you have some time to watch this video and then the setup one. But for this one, I did do the how-to video on, you got to make your account stuff first, but now you can get your payouts in either, USDT, you can get it in Tron, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, you can get PayPal, all sorts of different ways to get paid out while mining coins. As a lot of people do like to mine coins and get straight Bitcoin, you can do it all by yourself within here by simply choosing this, putting in your Bitcoin address, and then getting your withdrawal. So I will have a link to Cryptex down in the description if this is something you want to do, or if you just want to use your standard mining thing, you can use it here. But it does look like all pools are supported for this miner when it comes to Tari on the SHA-3X algorithm. The China one, I imagine it works, but I haven't tried it, as I said, because I didn't want to make a new account and everything for a China-based pool. So that's what I got so far when it comes to the XTBOX and Tari mining. All right, guys, so just to kind of give a conclusion here, we do have the XTBOX at Goldshell here. It is out of stock by the looks of things. There are some available here at ASIC Mining Central, and I'll have some other links down in the description as well as discount codes. But here with ASIC Mining Central, we can also see that they have low tax with DDP or invoice, which means, especially if you live in the United States, this is major, as it drops the total price of everything. Then paying something that's $1,800, you're probably going to come out with, not much more than this. I do believe shipping might be in the price, but I'm not 100% sure as well. So there may be shipping on top of this. But the major thing here, especially with all the tariffs going on in the States, is that low tax with DTP or invoice type of shipping. So that is a major deal, especially for people in the United States. People elsewhere, that's not as big of a deal because you don't pay those tariffs. But in the States, it is huge. So the miner is using about 445 watts. It's 580 gigahash. It is down in profits about $21.47 a day right now. But that's just due to the price dropping. As we looked at previously in the video, not many miners have gone online. So not many people have bought these, or maybe there's still a whole bunch lost in transit. That part we don't know about. So is this a gamble? Yes, 100% gamble, as eventually we will see pretty high network hash rate on this. I have not heard anything about any other companies like Ice River or anything making one yet, but that doesn't mean that it's not coming soon. Another thing is, it sounds like Monday is when the byte cards are going to be released here. And then Goldshell did want you guys to know about the 2% drop here from 5%. So they did drop 3% pool fees, but as mentioned, I would just go with Cryptex pool or something else anyway, because DX pool has way too much hash rate in the first place, and they're still one of the most expensive pools to mine to anyway. So I don't know why all this hash rate is here, other than maybe as one click go, easy to do. But again, remember, how to set up the Cryptex video is coming in a couple hours after this. It's already recorded and done. I just have to release it, but I want this one to release first. All right, guys, thank you for checking out this video. I will see you all in the next one. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this miner. Interesting that we're seeing that profit drop, but not because of network hash rate. Do you guys think that network hash rate is going to increase? Do you think Tari will increase in price or continue to decrease in price, as a lot of these people are probably selling to ROI these miners? Let me know in the comments. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out.